हाँ सर, कुछ प्रॉब्लम।
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Shaji. The thing has started, so you can start now, I think. We already have started having people, so you can just start and then we can move ahead. Yeah. Uh, okay, I think, guys, good afternoon. Our moderator, Mr. Saji, is having some problems with his net. So I will just introduce myself and our speaker. So I'm Commander Ninad Deshpande. I'm Director Social Initiatives from Their Career Mentors. Been in this field for some time, and that is why, like, I had a passion for social work. So that's why after Navy I joined this, and it's a pleasure for me and our team to present you eminent speakers like Mr. George Bernard Shaw, who has been in this field for last more than 20 years and has been doing quite some good work. And it's a privilege, Lord, privilege for us to have him present with us. Shaji, are you back now? Shaji? We can see him, but still
Yes,
his
can you
this
hear me?
not. Yeah. So can you take over?
Yes, I am me.
Yes.
Yeah, take over. Can you hear me?
Yes, but you're cutting off, Shaji.
Where
Okay. I think his net connectivity problem still persists. So, okay, see, all of you, I think, are interested in a social work, a career in social work, and you have to actually understand the difference between social work, social service, what are you going to gain? Because generally the conception in our mind says ki if you're doing social work, so it is totally only NGO work with no money involved, and you have to be quite you are not able to actually take it as a career. It's only some social service being done. So there are lots of things which people have, misunderstandings which people have. So today, George is there with us. He is state mission manager from MSRLM, that is Maharashtra State Rural Livelihood Mission. And he's a MSW graduate who has actually worked at root level, and then he has graduated to his present level and still rising. So I'm sure soon we will be able to see him at a much higher places also. So he is the person who has been there, done that, and who is instrumental in implementing lots of policies in the social work in our country as such. So I will request George to take over and start his presentation, and if he can, where he can tell the youth what is social work all about, which are the careers, and how they can benefit from it. Right, Shaji, I'm sorry, your net has been cutting in and out, so I had to take your place. Yeah, George, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Ninad, Shaji, and all the viewers who have connected from across the country. My name is George Banarsha. I am basically from Andhra Pradesh, and I thank Ninad for the lovely introduction. I'm just doing what I love in my life, so I'm just following my heart. Thanks for that. No big words, but whatever it is mentioned in my intro. I really come from a very diversified background, and I thank Dia for creating such a platform to bring all people together, and helping the young generation to understand various career opportunities. And yes, coming to social careers, this is a very promising career which I myself am experiencing and I'm enjoying thoroughly from the day I joined this profession. As you look at my beginning slide, the beginning slide itself talks about a lot of beauty, charm, attraction, colorfulness, opportunities, flying abroad. A lot of things are mentioned in this. The career in social work is just like that. You can work in various sectors, and it's a very very promising sector. Even after this pandemic, also many people are worried about what would be the career opportunities in various sectors, and especially if I'm talking about social careers, definitely it's going to be a very promising sector. So I just divided my presentation into a few compartments. So let us go through one by one. Let us try to understand the profession first. What is this profession all about? This profession is as good as any other professions. I feel like every profession is very good until unless you choose it. This profession has got very promising opportunities. I have already mentioned. Uh, Social workers have been playing a very important role in the advancement of human civilization since long time. uh, every development aspect anywhere in the world needs people to implement. So there is the that is the place where a professional social worker has been very instrumental in helping the administration, helping the people, bridging the gap in both ways. The other interesting thing in this profession is you meet a lot of people. You work for the human rights. You work for the social justice. People who are working in this have been prominent in making some big policy changes. So this includes a lot of counseling, mediating. I told you all about, and a lot of giving activity happens. A lot of charity kind of activity happens through government and other organizations like NGOs or CSR. So this profession also talks about the social workers try to improve the quality of life of the people in the society by helping the people with a true potential, with understanding their true potential. What Dheya is trying to do is also trying to help people to build professional life by understanding what is the potential that you have, what is the true potential you have. This is exactly I'm talking about this profession. Social workers also help to solve a lot of problems in the society, and it contributes significantly towards the cultural and moral advancement of humanity. Abhi, we are living in this pandemic situation, so many of the people are doing a lot of social work and trying to help the people in these bad times also. So, being a social worker, you got a diversified of opportunities in this profession, and definitely it's going to be a good career choice for the young generation. If I look at the background of the how where did this social work come from? This evolved in 19th century, maybe after the post Second World War, and it slowly moved on to various parts of the world. First, initially started in the Europe and North American countries. Uh, Eventually, it took importance in 1930. Then in the country, first school of social work was started in Mumbai. It's Tata School of Social Work. Uh, it is one of the oldest school, and it has been a pioneer institution in the country and has produced a lot of social workers. This institute has been started in 1936. One American missionary who was in India, he really thought like social work have to be started in India. Then his name is Sir Dorji Tata. Now the institute name is renamed as Tata Institute of Social Sciences, and they got a lot of branches in the country now in Hyderabad, Tuljapur, and also planning to establish more. So that is how it started in the country, and in the post-independence, a lot of activities happened in the development sector, right from education, health, and helping people to come out of poverty. A lot of social welfare schemes, policies, reforms have been done. Uh, every era had its own importance in social work, and it never went down actually. So it has been improving and gradually took lot of changes in the shape. Initially, if you look at social worker, matlab kurta पहन के चप्पल पहन के झोला ढाल के, that is the picture people really showed in the beginning. But today it's not like that. People are working in a very different platforms, and the kind of transformation happened over a period of time. It's quite phenomenal, and it's very attractive also. I don't wear a jubba and go to my office. I even wear my blazer and go to meet a lot of corporates, and this is how it looks. I want to help the young generation to visualize the personality physically also. So I'm just quoting one example. If we can just move on to next thing. uh, Social work means what? Many people don't understand what is social work. Social work is a profession in which people help. In other words, I can put it very short: helping people to help themselves. This is the definition of social work in short. It's definitely, as I told you, it's a growing field, and it has broader scope. It has in my next slides, I'll be able to help you in understanding the broad scope of the social work. Social work, one line, if you ask me, it is helping people to help themselves. That's it. So many people, like Ninad told in the opening remarks, many people get confused about social work kya hai, social service kya hai. Social service is something which you do it voluntarily, for which you are not paid. As simple as that. It is a voluntary activity or an activity done by the government to the welfare of the people by doing some activity or some kind or cash or whatever it is. The benefit that they want to give it, they are giving it without any expectation, without any return. So that is a social service. The social work means it's a professional work. It's a organized job where you get paid for whatever the work you're doing to help the people to help themselves. So this is the basic difference that one should understand between the social work and social service. So if you look at the qualification, what are the qualifications required for getting into social work initially? I guess many people are who are watching this session are 10 plus 2 or 10th class, I don't know. But for them, if you are doing something in 10 plus 2, doesn't matter. You can get into graduation, which is called as BSW in many parts of the country, and BA social work in some universities. This is a regular graduation program, which is for 3 years, and the eligibility is candidate passing a 10 plus 2 with any background, any course, whatever it is, maths, physics, commerce, economics, doesn't matter. So BSW is one course which will help you to get into graduation, and this is available across the country. And some universities also offer this distance education programs also, but not many. But I strongly recommend social work has to be done regularly, going to a college. Then you will come across a lot of exposure experiences like classroom experience, field experience, multiple exposure you get when you go to the regular college. And then once you are done with BSW, you can get enrolled into Masters in Social Work. Masters in Social Work is also called as MA Social Work. Many people don't understand what is the difference between MSW and MA Sociology. Sociology is purely a theoretical curriculum, whereas social work is purely a mix of practical and theoretically. So that is the basic difference between social work and sociology. Sociology only theoretically. You go to the college, you go to the class, and you're done with the semesters. You get a degree. But uh, but when you get into social work, you get exposed to uh, social work background, social research, social development, lot of activities you will be doing in the college. You will be going one day to college, one day to field. You'll be doing a lot of project works. You will be given certain assignments. You will be getting exposed to voluntary works like Rotaract clubs, Lions Club, or many other activities. Whatever it is, sky is the limit for you to get exposure to yourself. How proactive you are, it depends on that. Then it is as I told you, this is also a post graduation program, which is very much considered across the world, which is a 2 years program, and a lot of colleges in India give this course. There are so many small and big colleges. Doesn't matter what college you are going in, but what is that you are going to carry and what is that you are going to do in your life is a matter of fact. So once you are done with MSW, if you want to pursue more further, you can go for MPhil. For doing MPhil, you need to complete MSW with decent percentage, and it will be for a few years. Then, if you can move on to pursue PhD, that's well and good. I guess government is going to waive off MPhil if somebody is interested to pursue PhD in the days to come. You can directly pursue PhD without a MPhil also. I guess it is going to come up very shortly. Things are moving in that direction. So, nevertheless, these are the qualifications required at various levels to think about making your career in social sector. So, what skills required? Before getting into skills, I would like to ask you what kind of attitude we require to get into this. This is the most important. One should have a intention to help people. Who really likes and loves to help people is the basic attitude that is required. Who has good ability to communicate to people what is there in your heart, what is there in your mind, what is there in your plan, that should be communicated in a very very better way. That should be one of your attitudes. And people should have values helping people and solving the problems of others. That is also a very very important thing. Once you feel like solving problems of others, then you will see yourself having that joy and happiness. If you are really feeling something inside that, then you are having that attitude to get into social work. And people who are really uh, friendly, helpful, trustworthy, honest, and having some passion towards the country, to do something to the society, to do Lord's work. I mean, all the religions talk about giving charity, helping the poor, all these things. Every religion talks about it. If you feel very deep inside your heart that you should help people, you should you know do it something for the society, something back to the society, to this environment, to this world. If you feel like somewhere in that way, you are the best fit for getting into social careers. Apart from the attitude carries 80%. Only skills count and knowledge counts 10%. This is what I always say when I interact with many youth like you. uh, I'm getting some questions. I am.
Yeah.
Can you, Nina, can you just hold that screens because I'm getting disturbed here?
I will read it for you.
Yeah, please control that.
Shaji,
Yes, George, we will do it. We will have these questions later.
Then
Okay,
I'm
you
getting
finish
in
your talk
between.
first.
The screens are coming in between.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Okay. So coming back to this, once you're convinced with the attitude that you carry, and you feel like I'm very helpful to people. I can do something for the society. Then if you have to check with your skill set. Attitude is 80%, as I was mentioning. 80% of the attitude defines your career, what you want to do. So if you understand your attitude right and try to understand what career suits you, the half work is done. A good start is half work done. So this is the start. I'm not trying to promote only social career. There are so many careers, like Deha has picked up 28 different careers. So likewise, there are so many careers which can suit you. Only thing is you have to switch into yourself and understand what kind of personality I have, what kind of attitude I carry, what kind of desire I have. I always say you should understand yourself in a better way and try to understand what are your habits in free time or in most happiest time, what you want to do is something which I can name it as hobby. Then you should convert your hobbies into your passion. You should convert your hobbies into your passion and passion into profession. This is what exactly I have done in my life. So once we have done the presentation, we'll switch to all the queries and my experiences sharing also. Exactly, this is something happened to me and so many people have experienced. That is the reason why I have been growing in this organization, growing in this sector for the last 15 years, more than 15 years. So this is the growth I could see myself, because I ask myself this attitude and what are the skills I'm having, what are the knowledge I'm gaining every day, which is helping me to grow in this organization or in this particular sector. So now let us look at the skill sets required. Skill sets, like I divided into two: soft skills and hard skills. Hard skills, you should be able to manage the pressure of workload. That is the major thing that you should understand. Every career have workload. Any job has a workload. So you should, are you able to manage that? Are you going to manage it? Are you willing to handle such a workload? Then talking to people, social work is all about interacting with people. So you keep interviewing, you do some repetitive works, you keep on talking. Matlab, you interview people every day to day basis, depending on your sector and the job. So then helping people to resolve the issues. Advocacy is something, whether you have that ability to advocacy activities handle करने के लिए. And you should have very good interpersonal relationship. Interpersonal relationship is the key in social work. If you have good interpersonal relationship building skill, then definitely this is going to help you. Leadership and management, you should lead your team, you should manage the program, you should be able to handle teams, handle the project in a better way. Programmatic skills is also very important. Running the program, managing the projects, and handling tough situations, critical analysis, all these things. And also I mentioned event management. Social work में बहुत events होते हैं, small events, big events, medium events. All these events, management will skills will help you in the hard skills. And looking at the soft skills, you should be a good listener. For example, if you are getting into counseling field, getting into some uh, social medical and psychiatry field, or you're getting into some community development field, you should be good listener first. Then you should be able to communicate efficiently, effectively to them. Then you should work gel with the team, whatever team size is big, small, doesn't matter. You have to be one among the team. Then self awareness, you should have a lot of awareness for yourself to understand uh, what is happening around. And emotional intelligence, problem solving skills, and organization skills. These are the skills that are required for a uh, person who is thinking about making career in social work. Then moving on to specialization, social work has, as I told you earlier, BSW 3 years completed, MSW joined. Now in MSW also you have certain specializations. I have picked up 4 major specializations which are very popular. I myself come from community development, and the second popular one is family and child welfare. The third one is medical and psychiatry, and the fourth one is personal management and industrial relationship. I'll just brief you in a nutshell. Community development is all about developing people in the community, irrespective of any caste, religion, anything. For example, there are departments like rural development, tribal development, social welfare departments, women and child welfare departments. All these departments of any country, any government have to have professionals who need to deliver their welfare schemes to the people. So the community development is all about people-oriented job where you know interact with a lot of people in a scale or in a small way. Uh, most of the time you are with the people around and helping them to develop uh, in their own area or in a group or individually, helping the people to come up out of poverty, helping the people to come out of certain disasters. All these things come under community development. And next is the family and child welfare. Family and child welfare activities, many of you know, the National Health Mission. There are women and child development programs, girl child programs, UNICEF kind of organizations. These kind of organizations work very focusedly with the family and child welfare. So next comes the medical and psychiatry field. This is one of the prominent, one of the very popular line of work, I can tell you. Medical and psychiatry is going to gain a lot of importance in the days to come. And definitely, according to WHO, in every house, there will be a mentally retarded person. This is the WHO report which I've gone through recently. So there is huge scope for medical and psychiatry, which is all about helping the people to come out of their anxiety, depression, frustration, alcohol de-addiction activities, a lot of other activities. Psychiatric centers where people go for rehabilitation. So these kind of courses are the sub sectors I can tell you in social work after completing BSW. Uh, Basically, all these specializations are very good. Apart from this, some institutions offer specialization in education, specialization in livelihood, specialization in law, specialization in hospital administration. A lot of other activities also are coming up, but these are the four popular areas which I am trying to put before you. And there are some best colleges in the country, as I told you. For BSW, there are colleges like IGNO, Madras School of Social Work, Madras Christian College, Amity University, Lucknow, Usmania University, Hyderabad, Jamia Islamia, New Delhi, Loyola College, Chennai, University of Delhi. And for MSW, it's, I told you now, one of the pioneer school of social work is Tata Institute of Social Sciences. And Jamia Islamia, Pondicherry University is offering, Madras School of Social Work, Chennai, Indian Institute of Social Welfare and Business Management, Kolkata, Amity University, Usmania University, Madras Christian College, Christ University, Bangalore. So if you can look at, there are a lot of universities across the country. From wherever you are, you can get admission into this college. You can visit their websites. They will be publishing their schedule for the exam entrance and other details. You can get it from the website. I'm not going deep inside this slide, but yes, you can get all the information by using their websites. As I told you, doesn't matter what college you are studying and how reputed the organization is. It is all about the passion that you carry, the attitude that you carry, and the passion that you put yourself inside and try to connect to that profession. That is very important. Doesn't matter small college, big college, it doesn't matter. Now, this is a interesting last slide I can say for you. What next after graduation or post graduation or my PhD? What are the career opportunities? Lot of career opportunities are in front of you once you have done you're done with your MSW, Masters in Social Work. One promising sector is government sector, where a lot of policies, decisions happen for the development of community. So, as I told you already, rural development, tribal development, social welfare, national health mission, national uh, urban livelihoods mission. Lot of organizations are working for the welfare of the people, and everybody requires people in this, right from grassroots, right from the village level to the state level, national level. uh, Professionals are required in this. And coming into the next part is the NGOs. NGOs are also having a lot of requirement for social work professionals. NGOs are very small NGOs also they required, big international NGO also they required a lot of professionals. So when you look at the NGOs, I would really encourage all of you to uh, join NGOs once you are done with your BSW or MSW. That is the place where you can start your career hitting the grass. If you want to be really in a very good position, first you should make your hands dirt. So this is what my suggestion to all of you. Work in a government project, work in social NGO or any other implementing agency, doesn't matter, but you hit the ground. Don't expect that you will get a AC job, घर पे बैठ के कर सकते हैं या फिर सॉफ्टवेयर जॉब जैसे रहेगा. This is not expected in social work. This is all about meeting people, moving around, trying to understand things in a very practical way. So the next uh, career opportunity that I can tell is uh, CSR, corporate social responsibility. A lot of corporates have started their own CSR programs. They are funding the NGOs, wherein the NGOs are doing a lot of activities. They need fund. Earlier, government used to fund the NGOs. Nowadays, government has slowly stopped on funding the NGOs. But the CSR activities are very much in a boom, and a lot of funding is happening through CSR funds. There's CSR. There are two kind of CSR programs happening. One is CSR programs done for themselves in their own organizations like HSBC, ICICI Foundation, or Google got its own foundation. HDFC got its own foundation. Axis Bank has got its own foundation. Uh, uh, Ambanis have got their own Reliance Foundation. A lot of foundations fund for themselves. That is one kind of activity. The other activity is people like NGOs approach the funding agencies of CSR. Then they will get the funds from CSR. Then they implement the program and they report back to the CSR funding agency. So that is how it works. And there are a lot of openings in that. Uh, Next comes is teaching profession, counseling. Social workers are required, professors are required. Now, with the new government policy coming up in the education sector, huge changes are going to happen, and there is a very huge requirement of social workers in the education sector, which never happened before. So that is what I am just visualizing. That's These are the major sectors that I can quote, and now these are the promising sectors, the opportunities that you can look at. And if somebody wants to go abroad, there are so many opportunities in abroad also. If you have a dream of doing social work and going abroad and working there, yes, definitely there are opportunities in countries like Canada, UK, US, European countries, Australia, and third world countries are always there because they need a lot of professionals to help them in developing their countries. So this is something I just want to quickly mention about the career opportunities. What doesn't matter from which college you are from and what kind of job you are getting, just get an entry into this any sector, any domain, whatever you feel like. Whether it's government or it's corporate or whether it's NGO, doesn't matter. Start working there, work for a couple of years, your salary ranges from, if it is a small NGO or something, it ranges from 10,000-15,000 rupees, and it can go up to 40,000 rupees. If you are from a reputed institution, you can work as a young professional in various organizations. Some have campus interviews in reputed colleges. We also go for campus interviews, and we hire people for as a young professionals. Recently, we hired people from TIS and other colleges across the country. We pay them some 35,000-40,000 rupees initially as a young professional. So it depends on the college and the caliber that you carry with. And apart from this, other opportunities, there are a lot of opportunities in big five companies like Dell, Deloitte, Capgemini, and Grant Thornton, KPMG, uh, PwC. All these organization consulting firms, they require professionals who can work with the government, who can deliver government programs in a professional way. So this is a new area where it is growing very fast. Many government organizations are now directly not hiring people on their payroll. They are hiring people through consulting firms like this. So this is all about. And I just want to say last one more thing. Look at your heart, understand yourself, look deep inside, take a deep breath, and see what is there going in your heart. What do you like? What do you really love? What do you really love to do in your life? Do what you love and love what you do. This is what I just want to convey. And I hope this session has been fruitful. And I feel like, this is a great opportunity to interact with all of you. And may God bless you all. And I wish you all the best. If anything required in future, I am definitely there for you through Dheya. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, George. We have another very good speaker, Mr. Sanjeev Phansalkar. He's a graduate from IIM Ahmedabad, and then he was a professor with IRMA, that is Institute of Rural Management, Anand. Then he was a program director of TIS till 2018. And so I would just invite him. And then subsequently, once his session is over, then we will take the question. Because there is one person, Hania, she is requesting George that what are the kind of projects which you did in college. Okay, so we will just have Phansalkar sir first, and then after that we will take the questions. Okay, guys?
Right.
Phansalkar sir, can you please come and speak?
Yes. Yes. Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible? Hello?
You are audible, sir. You are audible, sir.
Okay. Fair enough. So good afternoon, all young people, and good afternoon to Dheya mentors and to Mr. Shaw. I thank Dheya for calling me for this purpose here. What I'm going to do is to essentially make 3 points. My job has been made very simple by a very lucid and elaborate talk by Mr. Shaw. My job has become really very simple. So I'll make just 3 points and I'll stop there. The first point I would like to do is just elaborate a little bit on what Mr. Shaw said about the types of careers you will have. And in my mind, there are 7 types of careers which you can have in a social work profession. The first one I would start by saying is the public sector welfare agencies, which you are mentioning, the departments connected with children or tribal or rural development or all that. So basically public sector, they need not all be government. They could be something like NDDB, which is not government, but which is set up by government. So we'll call it public sector. The second, of course, which you mentioned was NGOs, and there are NGOs of different size, shapes, and reputation and dedication, etc. So the third is a donor agency, and Tata Trust was a donor agency where I worked for over a decade. And there are other donor agencies in this country, Azim Premji Philanthropic Initiative, and there's the Leela Poonawalla Foundation here in Pune, and there are Bajaj Foundation and And George mentioned a lot of foundations, Reliance and all these. So these are sometimes they act as donors, sometimes they act as their own foundations and so on. The fourth category I would say is the development support organizations, which are really helping the NGO world as well as the donor world in carrying out a program. And we, where I work now, Vikas Anvesh Foundation, is a donor development support organization. We undertake research, we undertake assignments necessary for those people. We undertake work which tells those the NGOs as well as people like government whether a program that is being implemented is doing well or not. We do this evaluation type work and so on. So we also undertake a lot of training. So training of people who work in the social sector, we undertake that training. So this training, capacity building, research, evaluation, all these functions are necessary for the development sector. And organizations which engage in this is what I call the development support organization. Then, of course, you can, after, as Mr. Shaw was saying, after you have soiled your hands and gathered adequate experience and people start trusting your capability, you could become an individual, self-employed individual consultant, helping NGOs and helping the donors and so on. And there is, I think, to my mind, about a couple of hundred, at least, individual consultants in this country in diverse fields and diverse domains and so on and so forth. So that's a long career. I myself spent over a dozen years acting as a self-employed consultant between 94 and 2005. So that's a career, that's a possibility. And then there are international agencies such as the United Nations agencies, which Mr. Shaw was mentioning, the UNICEF, and agencies like that. There are also the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and agencies of that kind, which there are a large number, CARE and there's the Caritas and a large number of international agencies which are operating in this country, and they permit you the scope of if you are working there, then going elsewhere and starting working. So if you are working in India, you could very well go to Bangladesh or to Nepal or to some other countries and practice there. Finally, there are pure research institutions and agencies, and a lot of young people who have worked with me in the past have taken the route of working in the social sector for a few years, identifying a research problem, and then going into PhD kind of a thing. So it becomes a sort of between a post-graduation and a long-term PhD kind of careers, it becomes a 3-4 years experience gathering thing. So that was my first point. And these are the types of careers that exist. The second point, which George Bernard Shaw made very effectively, was that unless you have a keen desire that you want to help people. Some examples one would say that in your cities you must have seen all these helpless migrants in the aftermath of lockdowns, going hungry, without food, without any shelter, and wanting to go home. Now, if your heart did not bleed for them, you always thought that, oh, theek hai, wo theek hai, sarkar karega, but I have no responsibility. If that is the kind of viewpoint you have, then social sector is not meant for you. Similarly, today, for example, Bihar and Assam are reeling under floods, and lakhs of people are suffering. So if that suffering doesn't find an echo in you, it doesn't strike a chord in you, you don't feel like working for them, then you don't come into social sector. Because unless there is an empathy, there is a desire to work for others, and you believe that it is your moral responsibility to do something for people, unless you are convinced about it, there is no point in, all good work is always labor of love. So if you love people and if you love helping them, only then social work is meant for you. And he was kind enough to mention so many. And we are a very large country of 135 crore people. And there are all manners of problems, both in cities and in rural areas. I particularly have been working in the rural sector, so I am more familiar. But in cities too, you have problems. So the elderly who are neglected, the children are abroad, and the children are working in other cities, and they don't have anybody to look after. And they don't even know how to get their medicines or food or whatever. So those people need help. And of course, there are the slums and there are lots of problems there and so on. So unless you can feel that it is up to you and it is your mission in life to go and help out people, unless you have that sense in your mind and heart, this is not a sector for you. It's not a sector which is going to help you buy a Lamborghini at the age of 40, or that you are going to sit in an air-conditioned office and have a holiday in Switzerland every alternate year. This is not a career for that. This career is meant for people. Now, what are the opportunities that it offer? What does it offer to you? First thing, in the motivation theory, there is something called extension motivation, that you want to go out and relate to people and help them. And the second is the affiliation motivation, that you love people. So if these two motivations are strong, then this career offers abundant scope to fulfill your motivations. Abundant scope. There is no dearth of it at all. Great scope it offers. It offers a huge scope to know your country. How many of you know your country? There are more than 800, 900 districts in this country. I today must very proudly say that I have visited 400 odd districts in this country. I know this country much better than an average man on the street. I have traveled in widely across this country, and it's an amazing country. It's a very beautiful country. It's a country of people who are lovely. They are really affectionate, and they happen to be poor, but that's not their fault really. And I like those people, and I have been able to relate to them. It offers you great opportunity to know people, to observe life of real people close, from very close quarters. And that could have many spin-offs. If you observe life from very close quarters, then you could even take it into literature, or you could take it into making films or whatever. So you observe your great scope if you just keep your eyes and ears open and understand what people are like. And it, of course, gives you the great inner satisfaction of having contributed to the well-being of people. And that's, I think, after all, end of the day, what are you looking for in life? You are looking for some money, some security for your family, but you're also looking for a great deal of meaning in life. And this career is richer in meaning. It's not rich in money. And you need to make up your mind what you want in the first 10 years, first 20 years, first 30 years of your life. And many people I know who went into businesses and followed careers which gave them money, then turn back and come into social sector because they see that the business careers don't offer them the meaning which they were searching in life. And of course, the other way around also it happens. And therefore, you should not believe that social sector is a one-way street. It is not. These days, particularly because of corporate social responsibility being mandated to all companies want people who have the capacity to work with communities. And therefore, you can always go back from social work into a corporate career. And once you enter the CSR department, if you are capable, then you will be spotted and you can go into other lines of the same corporate businesses. So you should not think that to be a one-way street. And also, it's a career. It's a great, satisfying career if you want. So this is essentially what I wanted to say. The only point I would now make is that 3 years back, myself and a colleague of mine edited a book called Gems of the Purest Ray Serene. These lines come from the poem Elegy in the Churchyard. The full stanza is, full many a gem of purest ray serene in dark unfathomed caves of ocean bare, and full many flowers are born to blush unseen, to waste their sweetness in the desert air. So we borrowed this line from that poem, and these gems, we call it for short, so gems, and these gems is about 22 gems in this country. These people devoted their entire life to social careers of various types. We have profiled them. And they are leading very meaningful, very rich lives. And it's not as if their families are starving or something like this. No, let me give you one example. Jamila Nishad, a Muslim lady, she's a lawyer by training, lives in Hyderabad, very close to Charminar. And in that area in Hyderabad is very notorious, because the young Muslim girls are married off to these people coming from the Middle East or Saudi Arabia, whatever. And those girls are thereafter neglected by those people and thrown out after a while. So Jamila Nishad works with these, what we call Sheikh marriage victims in Hyderabad. And now that's a great work she is doing. And all these 22 stories will tell you, if you read them, and I strongly advocate you do, will tell you exactly what were the struggles these people who are now close to being recognized as being of top of their professions, what struggles did they go through, what work they had to do, what sort of satisfaction they have got, what have they contributed to the country. You will get these 22 live cases. This book is available in Hindi And the title in Hindi is Badlav Ke Rahi, and it is available as well in Marathi, Badal Pernari Mansa. So you could, unique publishers in Pune are the publishers for this. So please try and read this in order to make up your mind whether this is for you. Because all these 22 people are, generally, I would say between 40 and 50 of that age group. So they started their work in the 90s or 80s, late 80s, early 90s, and they're there. You could touch and feel them. You could go meet them, and you could learn more about them. So please see that book and judge for yourself whether this career is meant for you. I think I'll stop here. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, sir. So much of information. People are actually getting so much inspired by your talks, and they want to know more about the books which you have authored. And sir, we would also like to know, you and George both have touched about the COVID times and the jobs which the people are losing. So now in this sector, like now if some graduates, or the 12th class students, they want to get into the social sector. So what are the job prospects in this? Has it increased, decreased, and how can it help them? And how can they contribute to the country, sir?
In the immediate aftermath of COVID, I would not venture to say that they should quit whatever they're doing and search for a job right now, because COVID has meant that a great deal of money has gone into essentials required for the population. So the monies available for expanding services or hiring more people, etc., are not very high right now. So I would not imagine that there are too many new jobs opening up in the aftermath of COVID. But yes, if there is a spirit of volunteerism, yes, there is a great deal of possibility. You need people to run quarantine centers. You need people to help, to spread the message of how to avoid COVID and so on and so forth. But that would be more in the nature of volunteerism than career at the moment.
George, what is your take on this? How would you like to address this?
See, I agree with Sir Sanjeevji, whatever is been told. Literally 1 year, we should not think about any change in the job opportunities, or where we should not look out to change, switch to any other organization. This applies to everybody, including me and you also. So this is the kind of reality that we are living in. But yes, there are certain promising sectors, because I work for the skill development department in our organization. There are a lot of opportunities coming up in few sectors, especially in the healthcare sector, and logistics, banking and finance sector, ITS, work from home opportunities are going to take a big leap. This is what I'm hearing from all corners, because I attend a lot of sector skill councils events happening in the country, and we come across a lot of other sectors also. So this is what we are also thinking. People should wait and watch for some time, keep calm. Then over a period of time, I think things will be better, and no doubt there are going to be good opportunities. New opportunities also will emerge. This is the ray of hope.
Sanjeev sir, people are requesting the name of your book. If you can just tell them the name of your book.
Okay, the English name is Gems of Purest Ray Serene. The publisher is Unique Publications in Pune. Unique Features, I think it is called in Pune. The Marathi title is Badal Pernari Mansa. Okay, and the Hindi title is Badlav Ke Rahi. So it's available in all the 3 languages. You would need to contact the publisher, and you would be able to get copies there. It was, the soft copy of this English version is available on our website, the www Social Work India. So they can look down each individual's full profile in a soft copy format on our website. Right? You have my website, you have my email address, so that can be shared, and I will connect people, whoever is interested, to the website and how to access the profiles of these 22 people.
Sir, another question which had come up was that Mr. Saket Reddy is asking that why is math, science, chemistry, bio is more preferred subjects rather than history, economics, and civics during 11th and 12th for getting into the social work. Is it so?
No.
Does it make any difference?
I have never selected students at that level, so I won't know whether it has made any difference to anybody else. So I don't want to comment on that.
I feel like, doesn't matter. Instead of wasting your time, if you are clear that you want to get into social work, don't get into math and science. Get into some commerce courses or economic related courses. That also will help you. Instead of wasting your time, you can spend more time on getting more exposure into the community and try to understand social work in a better way.
George, there was another question for you specially. What projects did you take up during the college time? I hope you remember.
Very interesting question. I've been to old age homes, which was very close to my college. Opposite my college, there was an old age home. We literally used to go on a alternate day. Officially, we used to go, and unofficially also we got good relationship there with the old age people who are there. It was run by a Catholic organization. I got exposure to psychiatric centers in Trichy. I done in Trichy, Bhattidasan University. I found Tamil Nadu is one place where a lot of psychiatric centers are available, or people are aware about it. I could not see in any other part of the country. Correct me, sir, if I am wrong, Sanjeev ji. This is what my limited exposure I had in psychiatry, and then I worked for some time, and for doing my project in a care and support center where HIV/AIDS patients were treated, and they were kept in a residential this thing. So I used to eat with them in the afternoon. So it was away from the city, and I go in the morning and I come back in the evening. So I didn't have any option to carry my lunch box also. The only option I had was to have food with them. So which is like half boiled food. It's like very different experience. After eating that food, for me anything in my life it's very tasty. So from that day I decided anything under the sky, whatever you get is something very delicious. So if sometimes my wife asks me, oh, what is wrong in this, what is wrong in that, in this, so I really sometimes take a pause and say, hey, I enjoy what we are having today. So this is the kind of experience I picked up from my field experience in the college days. And the last project what I have done is in World Vision in Bangalore. So I got very different exposure. And to add on, I got a chance to be as a president of Rotaract Club in the college. So that was a add-on exposure which I used to get apart from the social work curriculum exposure what I got actually.
Thank you. Sanjeev sir, one question directed towards you. They want to know that how you have risen into this particular profession, what are your qualifications, and what your field experience has been, sir.
All right. So I am a PGP or the MBA from IIM Ahmedabad, 1979 pass out. I did my PhD in IIM Ahmedabad also in 1989. I have taught at IRMA, Institute of Rural Management, for 13 years. And during the course of that, I have visited a large number of organizations. So I have not worked on the ground. So the question of field experience is a very pertinent question. I have not myself done work on the ground, but I have trained very large number, upwards of 1,000, 2,000 people who have worked on the field. And I have visited, as I said, more than 400 districts and seen the work of at least 250, 300 different NGOs from close quarters. And I've been working as an advisor and so on. So I joined, and of course, I've been an author. I've written several books and all that. So all this together, I suppose, contributes to one's profile and growth. So that's the answer, Abhin.
Wonderful. I think people are really very lucky to have such experienced people like you coming and addressing. Guys, do you have any other questions which you want to put it up to our eminent speakers? You can please type it over here. Otherwise, sir, what is your like? I think we have already coming to end of our webinar now. So, if you can just give your last words to the students who want to get into this particular sector, what should be they aiming for? Both of you, if you can just sum it up one by one.
Okay, I will go first. Yeah. What I think is, if you have the passion or the strong feeling that your job is to go and out help people, then I think you need not hurry into it. You acquire very good education and skills in whichever field takes your fancy, because from whatever field you can come into social sector. Today, for example, a computer engineer, and I know I have hired computer engineers to do work in the social sector, because today digitization and information systems are very necessary. So virtually every discipline would have an echo in the social sector. So first get a good, strong education and then come into the sector. This is what I would say.
George?
Yeah, as I told you in my presentation, convert your hobbies into passion and passion into profession. I want to align the thoughts with sir thoughts. So do what you love and love what you do, whatever it is. Like if you have done engineering or if you have done some accounts course or you're from any other stream, development sector have opportunity for everybody, right from accountant से लेके IEC activities के लिए चाहिए लोग, डिजिटल मार्केटिंग के लिए चाहिए, पब्लिशिंग के लिए चाहिए, research के लिए चाहिए. Only thing is you should understand whether you really love to work in this social sector. That is the only thing that you should look at.
Wonderful. So I think thanks a lot, Sanjeev sir, George, for coming over here. I think our audience had a wonderful time listening to you. They would have gained quite a lot from you, and I'm sure we will have more and more students coming in for the social sector, right? So with that, like if any of you guys, if you have any questions, please visit our website www.dheya.com. You can raise the queries. We will take it to Sanjeev sir or Mr. George Bernard Shaw, and then they will answer back and we will send it back to you, right? So we can connect through that way. So thanks a lot, sir, Sanjeev sir, George, and we will just finish this talks now. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Nina. Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining.